Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Big Gold Belt movie review. Today, I'm bringing you a film that has so far only played at one film festival, has no distribution lined up, but could be the best horror movie I've seen this year. And this one is called Push. And here's a quick synopsis. Push follows a realtor who must survive a night of terror when a deranged client shows up at her open house. And this is directed by Justin Powell and David Charbonier, and it also stars Alicia Sanz and Raúl Castillo. Now, this is a two-person film. That's it. That's what you're going to get here for the crux of this film here, as this was actually, I want to say, shot during the pandemic. So it's really set up where this is a two-actor platform type of a film here. But what you get out of Push is possibly the best home invasion film of the last 10 years, give or take. Or the first Don't Breathe film. Like, that was the last time I've seen a horror home invasion film measure up to what we get in Push. Now, Push starts off as we are introduced to Alicia's character, Natalie, as she has lost the love of her life after moving to a separate country to live with him in a tragic accident. Once this accident happens, we get a backstory that the family of her lost lover doesn't want to help take care of now his pregnant widow. They do everything impossible to say they don't want to, and she gets a job as a realtor. And when she gets this job as a realtor, she takes on a property that happens to be on a sprawling estate. Like, everything about this estate is beautiful. It is shot to the T, which is different for Justin and David, because this unto itself is the biggest scale film that we've ever seen them work with. If you've seen their prior works, which is Boy Behind the Door and The Gin, Boy Behind the Door was shot in like a little small house cabin type of thing, and The Gin was shot in a 2-bedroom apartment. But they worked wonders to make you think that those spaces were huge. And here with Push, we actually see that this space is huge. Just the overhead shots, the cinematography that we're introduced to right from the onset of this film lets you understand just how sprawling this film could be versus their prior works here. And then we get the introduction of the killer as Raúl, who the moment he pops up on screen, you know it's something odd here when he shows up at this open house. And then that's when we get the onset of the terror in the film. And if you've seen one home invasion film, you've seen them all. All of them move exactly the same way. That's what makes it so hard to make a thoroughly entertaining home invasion film, is because all of them are the same. But here with Push, adding the element of Alicia's character being pregnant and having to go through all of these things, it's a different element that we don't get in home invasion films. Even if you did get the pregnant person, there tend to be a side character that is pregnant. Here, she is the lead, and we see just how relentless this film becomes once the horror and suspense is built up. What David and Justin do an amazing job of is building suspense. They've done it in their prior two works, and here in Push, it is thoroughly adamant that the goal is to build the suspense, to engage the audience. And Push does an amazing job of engaging the audience from beginning to end. This is a film that's only maybe an hour and 30 minutes long. So it's not a long film, and there's no filler in the film. So once you get introduced to exactly who the heroine is and the protagonist is, which is around 15 minutes into the film, the remainder of the film is you trying to be on the edge of your seat as she's attempting to escape everything humanly possible with this killer. And that's thoroughly entertaining as you're watching Push. There's just her attempting to survive the night. That's it. And using every bit of this estate to build the thrills in it. It's a part of this film where the killer tells Alicia's character, there's no way you can escape. I know these grounds better than you could ever know them. That just adds another layer of horror and suspense into it, as we see her pregnant, going through labor pains, going through everything humanly possible, attempting to escape this killer. and him just being relentless in wanting her dead. That's all Push is. And it sounds so simple, but unfortunately, a lot of home invasion films, while the premises are always simple, they tend to fail miserably because they tend to overdo everything else here. What David and Justin do here is that they don't attempt to overdo anything. They're like, we're going to give you a straight film where you understand the suspense in it, where you understand the characters in it. We're going to let these actors put on great performances, and then we're going to keep you intrigued from beginning to end. And that's what Push does the best job so far this year of any horror movie, of keeping an audience engaged, because you're engaged from the beginning. Even when the first 15 minutes of it, where the film moves a little slow, but you understand it's building towards suspense. And once we get towards suspense, they just never let the audience go. They grab hold of you, and you are then in for a ride for an hour and plus until the film is over with. And that unto itself makes this possibly the best horror movie of the year. So Push, again, it's only shown so far at one film festival. I know there is things in place for it to show at more film festivals throughout the year until we possibly get a release date sometime in 2025. But out of a possible scale of A to F, I'm going to give Push a B+. This is a fantastic film. From beginning to end, it's a fantastic film. It is the most rewatchable film in their filmography so far. As much as I believe Boy Behind the Door is a classic, I believe The Djinn is one of the best horror films you could ever possibly see. The rewatchability on Push, while as a film it may not be up to the level of those other two films, but it's still extremely enjoyable and the most rewatchable film they've ever made. This is a film that you can possibly catch it at any given point in time in it. And it will probably grab you and you will sit until the film's over. And you can't say that about too many horror films, that you don't need to see the beginning for it to grab you, because the premise here is just so straightforward. Again, as I said prior, like every home invasion film is the same. You, at this point, that premise cannot be changed. What you change is the execution of it, the writing, the directing, and the acting of it. And this is the best written, the best directed, and the best acted home invasion film since Don't Breathe. And in a way, it kind of surpasses Don't Breathe. But check it out whenever this film hits a market where you can. This has been another Big Old Belt movie review. Peace, people.